Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to the Cave of Collectibles. Today I want to do a review of The Mandalorian Season 1, Chapter 1. So, let's just start by stating the obvious. I've got a pop vinyl here. Now, I'm not a big fan of pop vinyls. When it comes to collectibles, I tend to like the stuff which are a bit more, a bit more higher quality, so I tend to get the statues from like Sideshow and DC Collectibles. The polyresin ones, not the plasticky ones. But you can see the Mandalorian I've got sitting right in front of me. That is the first pop vinyl I have brought in years. So to get me to do that, that is saying something about the quality of the show. Now before we get going, I just want to say that this review may contain spoilers, or in fact it probably will contain spoilers. I'm not going to hold back on my opinions of what I enjoyed about the show. So if you haven't watched it yet, I suggest go and watch it and then come back and watch this review. Otherwise, if you've seen it, or if you just don't care about spoilers, well, let's get going. So, The Mandalorian is the first Star Wars live-action show on TV, well, on Disney Plus, really. And it took a little bit of time for me to get used to watching Star Wars in an episodic format. By episodic format, I mean TV show, not movies, even though they're called episodes 1 through 9 at the moment. Seeing it in a shorter format, it's just a bit different to seeing a movie. Generally, I always thought that Star Wars would be something which you came and you watched, and it will be an experience over 1.5 hours. And then you will go away and wait for the next live action movie. And that's what I thought it would be. And I was not skeptical about The Mandalorian, but I just wasn't sure how it will go. But oh boy, was that first episode great. It really, really starts off with a bang. The Mandalorian is set just after episode 6, The Return of the Jedi, where the Empire has fallen and there is no First Order yet in place running things. The New Republic is literally that. It is very new. So they're not there to enforce law and order. And you can tell that from the beginning, where the Mandalorian walks in to the cantina and it's just full of bounty hunters. What I really appreciate that Jon Favreau and the directors of this movie have done is that they really managed to capture the essence of the Star Wars movies and get it into a live-action TV show. In the short format, it's a bit different to watch and it's a bit different to get used to. But with the characters, with the character development, you've got the Mandalorian, who is essentially a lone wolf at the start of the show, working and operating on his own. It's a very sort of Western-style TV show to watch. A Western in Star Wars, which I actually really enjoyed. Each minute of the 40-minute TV show, I was glued to my seat, and I kept checking how much longer was left, not because it was boring, but because I didn't want it to end. If there is one thing I can say, and I don't often say this about TV shows, is that the episodes are too short. You just finally get going, you get invested, and then all of a sudden, bam, it ends. I'm not one who's big on binge watching. I actually enjoy having an episode come out each week, which is what The Mandalorian is doing. But this is the first time that I found myself wanting more as soon as the episode is over. From the very end of the first episode, I was waiting for the second episode, and from the very end of the second episode, I was waiting for the third episode. But this is just a review of the first episode, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. Partly the reason I think it is such a thrilling TV show and fits in so well with the Star Wars universe is because the show has a budget of around $12.5 million per episode, which is a lot of money for a TV show. But let's get to actually talking about the episode and itself. At the start of the episode, we see the Mandalorian accepting a contract where he has to hunt down the asset. We don't know what the asset is from the start, but if you've been following the leaks online, well, if you've been following any of the reviews, the asset is well and truly clear about what it actually is now. And it's we see really interesting character development throughout the TV show, throughout the episode. At the start, he is very much a lone gunman. He doesn't want to work with anybody. But as he goes through the episode, we see him accepting help from an Ugnaught called Kuil. Please excuse my pronunciation. And then when we get towards the end of the episode, we see him teaming up with IG-88, an assassin droid, which enters into the best gunfight sequence of the episode. It is awesome. You've got all these guys shooting at each other, and you've got the true Mandalorian, a warrior at heart, teaming up with this assassin droid and just taking down all these enemies all around them. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty incredible to watch. From the get-go of the episode, I couldn't stop watching it. From the get-go of the episode, I couldn't stop looking forward to the next episode. The characters are great. The structure of the episode is great. The development is great throughout the whole half an hour or 40 minutes of this first episode. The interactions with the other characters in the universe, with the guy who gets the contract from, sorry, I don't remember the names of a few of these characters, from the Ugnaught, from IG-88, from the Armorer. It really develops and brings out who the Mandalorian actually is. And at the end, when he gets the asset, which we all know now is actually Baby Yoda, or one of Yoda's species as a baby who's 50 years old. It's essentially crazy to think of a baby who is 50 years old, but it's pretty awesome when you see what this little kid can do. And as the episode goes on and he sort of walks away with the kid, with Baby Yoda, we start to see a little bit more about the Mandalorian. We start to see that he's a little bit more than just a gun for hire. He actually starts to get attached to this kid in a way, because at the start of the episode, he was given the choice of bringing him back dead or alive, preferably alive, but dead was always an option as well. And we see from the get-go, as the Mandalorian holds out his finger to little Baby Yoda, that there's an attachment there, so you can tell that this is going to play a big part throughout the next 7 episodes. IG-88, who continuously wants to self-destruct after he is compromised and they are surrounded, is a great droid. And I was hoping to see him throughout the series, but IG-88 wanted to destroy and kill Baby Yoda and bring him back dead. Whereas the Mandalorian puts a stop to that and puts a laser through IG-88's head. So I was sort of thinking that we would see IG-88 and the Mandalorian team up for the rest of the series, or sort of work together, which doesn't eventuate. But it is a great episode. I highly recommend it. I highly enjoyed it. If you haven't got Disney Plus, run out there and get it. And it's a great show. I really recommend it. There's so much good stuff on that channel that it's not a channel, is it? It's a subscription service. There is so much great stuff on there already as it is, but I highly recommend it. Go out, watch The Mandalorian. If you've enjoyed it as much as I do, you'll do something which you've never said you'll do again and get a pop. And now I'm wanting to get the other 2, or the other 3. Well, 2, I only really want Cara Dune and IG-88. But I'm looking forward to the rest of these episodes. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my quick overview and thoughts on the show. It was a really, really good show. It was a really, really good episode. If you haven't seen it yet, get out there and watch it, guys. But otherwise, please like and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.